I wanted to talk to you about the coronavirus,
Okay.
big pandemic scare that's going on right now. I know you're a political thinker. So what do you see is going on with this huge lockdown around the world? You buying this?
Of course not. I mean, listen, I'm a mathematician. I can add and subtract. Um, the mainstream media is using words like horror, staggering deaths. Let's look at numbers then. The World Health Organization says there's about 130,000 deaths in the 5 months it's been hanging around. And that sounds horrific, doesn't it? But let's keep in mind that medical science doesn't measure the pandemic in terms of gross numbers. It's in terms of deaths per 100,000, like the flu. Flu kills 12 out of every 100,000 people every year. How many people do you think the coronavirus has killed per 100,000 this past 5 months?
I couldn't tell you. Maybe eight,
Two.
two.
Okay. Two. Now, with numbers like that, we're locking down the world. Please, do you see the insanity? Now, let's look at the few countries that have sane leadership, like Sweden, that refuse to lock down. They're out partying and going to coffee shops and hanging out together. Um, in this entire time, it's had 1,000 deaths out of 10,000 people. That's one in 10,000. Now, that's higher than the world average, but not because of the lockdowns, because Sweden is so far north that the flu is 3 times as prevalent in Sweden as it
Mm.
is in the rest of the world. Well, the flu is a cold. Remember, warm weather, flu disappears. Cold weather, flu comes back. So, but they refuse to lock down, and even at their 1,000 deaths, that's only one in 10,000 population in Sweden. Of course, they're not going to lock down the country. Um, but yet, what the US is locking down, there are only 3 countries um, where the death rate is significant: Italy, Spain, and America. What do they have in common? Um, well, they didn't have anything in common. Well, the US didn't have anything in common with the two of them until 10 days ago, when the CDC put out new guidelines saying, listen, if somebody dies and you find out they're infected, then put down that they died from the infection. Do you realize the absurdity of that? We don't do that with any other disease. So when that happened, the next day, notice there was a huge spike in deaths, and it's been bad ever since. Because
Let me.
nine,
Sorry.
pardon?
I just wanted to ask you because I mean you're a computer science guy, so you'll understand this analogy. It seems like the way governments are dealing with this is like a brute force solution to a problem, and it's not optimized at all. They're just saying everybody stays inside. I mean, do you think this is just a? Some people are saying this is a power grab. What do you think
Of
about
course
that?
it is. First of all, what's the problem? Seriously, what's the problem? I mean, listen, if we're shutting down because of COVID 19, then why the fuck don't we shut down because of the flu, which is 6 times more deadly? Do you understand? 630,000 people died from the flu in the same period of time, and only 100,000 or a little more from COVID 19. There is no problem. We're not solving a problem, we're creating a nightmare. And it is a power grab using fear. The mainstream media is using all these horrific terms. Oh, it's a horror. And look at the staggering. No, staggering? What the fuck? How many people do you think die from diarrhea every year? Give it a guess. Just a
Probably
guess.
diarrhea. That's a killer. Like maybe a million around the world.
2.5 million.
Two and a
All
half
right.
million. Okay.
Do you realize where does COVID stack up to that? It is 1/25th of the problem. And yet we're locking. Please, can we use our common fucking sense? We don't have a problem, my friend. And everyone listening, there is no problem with this disease. The problem is with the insanities of our government. Locking down, what does that do?
Yeah,
Well, it
it's
doesn't seem to do much. because Sweden has not locked down and they have zero problem, even though Donald Trump goes, oh my God, Sweden is suffering badly. 1,000 deaths out of a 10 million population. Run the numbers, people. No one in their right mind would pay attention to those numbers.
Yeah.
We're paying attention because the media goes, oh, the horror, the families of these people. Well, please stop using raw numbers and let's put it in perspective. Yes,
Yeah.
100,000 people sounds horrific. You know
Yeah.
how many people die every year in America? 3.5 million. And Donald Trump's going, oh my God, another 2,000 people died today. Please fucking wake up, people. You're being deceived.
It's interesting that you say this because I'm in Bali right now, and Bali's Indonesia is a much poorer country, and before that I was in India, and in both those countries nobody gave a fuck, dude. They were walking around like some people were wearing
Yes,
masks and stuff like that, but they were out and about like drinking,
of
partying, stuff
course.
like that. And it's almost like people in America just have this like really like close sense of comfort that they demand, and as soon as there's a hint that it might get taken away, people just get terrified. Do you
You know,
go ahead?
okay, well, first and foremost, this is a seasonal virus. So I'm afraid that Bali is in fact going to get hit harder
Yeah,
come summertime in Bali, which is, well, not long from now. um, but it's not going to be a big deal in any case. And in the meantime, the the virus will disappear by mid-May from the northern hemisphere, virtually disappear. Now, government's going to say, see, lockdown saved us. Thank God Sweden did not fucking lock down, because we go, well, the Swedes in lockdown. Did
yeah.
God save them?